Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're venturing into a pretty dark place, actually. A Curse of Strahd role-playing session.
That's right. We're looking at episode 10, Turn the Unholy, from Admiral Blackbeard's channel on YouTube.
And our focus is on this group of adventurers, specifically how they handle, well, a whole mess of things right after waking up.
Yeah, there's a weird shared dream. They're desperate for supplies. There's this creepy nightly event, and then a priest with a really difficult request.
So your mission, should you choose to accept it, is to see how they problem solve under pressure, the ethics they bump up against, and, how the group works together when things get weird.
All distilled down so you get the essence without the full multi-hour experience.
Exactly. So it kicks off right away. They wake up in this mansion.
And they realize, hang on, we all had the same dream, like exactly the same.
Yeah, this figure, Madame Eva, telling them to find the Vistani camp. Super strange way to start the day.
Definitely sets a surreal tone. And then almost immediately, one of the adventurers, Raven,
Who seems pretty observant.
right, spots Arlena, that's Ismark's sister, just staring out the window. And what she tells them is chilling.
This March of the Dead.
Mm-hmm. Every night at midnight, spectral figures just walk out of the cemetery. Ghosts of old adventurers, apparently.
Heading west. A silent parade of failure, basically.
And Irina says it happens every night. It's become normal for her, which is maybe the creepiest part. It shows how oppressive this place, Barovia, really is.
Imagine trying to eat breakfast after hearing that. Raven tells the group, and Ismark just confirms it. Yep, souls of those who fought Strahd, doomed to walk forever. Grim stuff.
It really paints a picture, doesn't it? And it immediately leads to a very practical thought for the adventurers.
Right. If that's the fate of people who fail here.
Then we seriously need better gear. Weapons, armor, anything.
And amidst all that gloom, they remember something practical.
Oh yeah, their weapons. They got stolen.
Mm-hmm. So priority one becomes getting their gear back, which leads them to the general store, Bildrath's Mercantile.
Run by Bildrath and his nephew, Perry. And this visit, it gets tense pretty quick.
It does. They confront Bildrath about the weapons.
Ismark gives them a heads up, though. Says the stock can be, well, limited and expensive.
And he mentions Bill might get stuff from the Vistani items they find along the road.
Yeah, discarded items, which sounds a bit suspicious, doesn't it?
Totally. Alarm bells. And one of the adventurers immediately pipes up, basically saying if Bill has their stolen stuff and won't cooperate.
They might just reacquire it proactively.
Shows their mindset, right? They've been robbed, they're stuck, they're not messing around. Survival might mean bending the rules a bit here.
So they get to the store, Bildrath's Mercantile, and there's this guy, Perry, working there. Seems nice enough.
Recognizes them from the tavern. A small moment of, normalcy.
Maybe. But when they ask about weapons, and specifically mention they know Bill has a, quote, special inventory.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. The mood shifts. Bill kind of eyes Perry suspiciously like, what did you tell them?
And then comes the really blatant part. Bill goes in the back.
And comes out with 2 boxes. Just came in, he says. Convenient.
And inside, surprise, surprise, it's the adventurer's stolen gear.
His story is flimsy. Vistani found it from discarded adventurers.
But the party pushes back. Discarded? No, this was stolen.
Exactly. And now it's tense. They don't really have proof, like a photo or anything.
Yeah, no tintype picture handy in Barovia, I guess.
But one of them does something clever. Without seeing inside the boxes, they describe their specific missing weapons in detail.
Smart. Calling his bluff, basically.
It seems to work. Bill is either convinced by the detail or, frankly, maybe just intimidated by their confidence.
So he agrees to give it back, but they have to pay standard value for it.
Yeah.
Which, honestly, is probably better than a fight.
True, but it's not quite over. One adventurer decides to ensure cooperation.
Let's just say a dagger makes a brief appearance near Bill's throat.
Just a little persuasion to make sure he stays helpful and to ask if the Vistani brought anything else interesting lately.
Bill, understandably, is terrified. Claims it's usually just junk, used stuff.
And one of the adventurers does an insight check, reads his reaction and believes he's telling the truth, mostly out of fear.
So while Bill is indisposed.
Yeah, occupied. The others look around the store. Just general goods, nothing else of theirs. Poor Perry must be scared stiff.
Definitely. So they need supplies, rations, torches. They decide to trade.
They offer up the makeshift stuff they've collected. Pitchfork, axe, that barrel lid shield.
There's a little discussion like, what are we willing to give up? Which feels very real. Managing inventory.
And interestingly, the merchant Bill, once he can speak again, seems impressed by their donations, Shows how scarce things are.
Yeah, that pitchfork might be high-tech around here.
So the dagger gets put away. They even leave a gold piece for Bill's troubles.
Feels a bit sarcastic, maybe.
Just a touch. They ask about blacksmiths. Nope. Gotta go to Vallaki. Silver items for weapons. Also nope.
But one adventurer grabs a silver mirror, smart thinking in vampire land.
And then, a nice little moment, one of them gives Perry, the helper, 5 gold pieces.
And tells Bill, basically, don't you dare take this from him.
Yeah, a small act of kindness. Then they load up on rations, torches, notice some carpenter's tools.
Ooh, useful. They have wooden table legs. Maybe they can make steaks.
Could be. Then they leave, but not without one last intimidating look for Bill. Just a reminder.
Okay, so gear recovered, supplies bought. Sort of. Next stop.
Crooch, Father Donovich. But on the way.
They see Perry again, following them.
Yeah, he's worried. He tells them the father hasn't come out of the church in 2 weeks. Not since the siege.
A siege, okay. And the father's changed.
Drastically, according to Perry. Used to be kind, now he's withdrawn, looks terrible, won't see anyone, the church itself is damaged.
So much for holy ground being completely safe, huh? Raises questions.
Big time. Why can evil apparently still touch this place?
They get there, find Father Donovich praying at the altar. Doesn't even seem to notice them at first.
Ismark steps up. He wants to arrange his father's funeral, understandably.
And this is where he gets really, really sad. Donovich is sorry, but he can't do it. Not right now. He needs a few days.
And the reason? It's his son, Doru.
What happened?
Doru took the father's holy symbol, a bronze sunburst, for protection. Went off to Castle Ravenloft.
Oh boy. Bad idea.
Terrible idea. He came back about 2 weeks ago during that siege Perry mentioned, but he was changed.
Into what?
Something unnatural, and he didn't have the holy symbol anymore. Donovich has him locked in the Undercroft.
Locked him up.
Yeah.
Wow. Is he hoping for a cure?
Desperately. And he says he can't perform holy rites, can't even feel his god, the Morning Lord, anymore.
Why not?
He thinks it's because Doru has the holy symbol somehow, and Strahd's influence has corrupted his connection through it, or maybe just corrupted Doru with it.
That's complicated. And awful.
He's terrified to open the Undercroft, so he makes them a deal.
Let me guess. Get the holy symbol back.
Exactly. Retrieve the symbol from Doru, and he'll perform the burial for Ismark's father. Heavy stuff.
Man, talk about a dilemma. They need the funeral rites, they need the symbol, but there's a monster in the basement.
A monster who is also the priest's son. They start discussing options right away. Kill him, subdue him, is there even a cure?
What does Donovich say Doru is like now?
Pale, clammy skin, feral, thirsty for blood. It sounds exactly like vampirism.
A vampire spawn, probably. Did he mention when Doru returned?
Midnight. Fits the pattern.
And the adventurers make a point of saying they won't feed him blood, right? So they have some idea what they're dealing with.
Yeah, they seem clued in on that basic rule, so they hatch a plan.
How are they going to handle this?
One uses magic to disguise themselves as Father Donovich, hoping to approach Doru without freaking him out.
Clever. What else?
Another readies a spell, like a blast of cold air. A third, a rogue type, plans to use their speed to maybe just grab the symbol quickly.
Okay, seems like a plan, sort of. Father Donovich unlocks the trapdoor.
And the Undercroft sounds creepy. Rough walls, clay floor, rotting pillars, barely any light.
Classic dungeon crawl setup. And then for the darkness, they hear this voice.
What does it say?
You've come to kill me, haven't you?
Chilling. Straight from Doru.
Yep. They find him literally clinging to the ceiling like a spider. Then he lowers himself down.
What does he look like?
Pale, dirty, messed up, red eyes, fangs, and he's wearing the holy symbol stained with blood. Says it gives him strength, helps him hold on.
Hold on to what? His humanity?
Maybe? Or just resist the full vampiric urges. The party quickly debates, kill him, try to cure him. The father obviously wants a cure.
Oh, man. And he asks about a cure.
Yeah, his father found a cure for me? It's tragic. Even as this monster, part of him still hopes. Puts the party in a tough spot, morally.
That seems to be the implication. It's not just a monster guarding a key anymore. It's tragic.
Does he mention anyone else?
Yeah, strangely, he asks us about someone named Gertruda. Seems surprised she isn't there.
Gertruda. Wait, wasn't that the missing woman whose daughter they met?
That's the one. It's all connected, this poor town.
So what do? One of them lies to him.
Sort of a white lie, yeah. Says they haven't seen Gertruda, but lots of people went to Vallaki for safety. Women, kids, maybe she's there.
And Doru, he buys it. He actually gives them a letter. Asks them to deliver it to Gertruda if they see her.
Wow. Even now he's thinking of her. That makes it harder, doesn't it?
Definitely complicates things. But they still need the symbol.
Right, the mission hasn't changed. One tries to use Turn Unholy.
The paladin power. Does it work?
Nope. Fails. Doru's too strong, or the symbol protects him, or something. Another readies a spell, a searing smite.
Things are about to get violent.
But then another adventurer realizes they can try turning too.
Okay. But they need to restrain him first. Logain comes up with a really risky, kind of ethically dubious plan.
Oh.
The idea is to convince Doru that for the cure to work, he needs to fully become a vampire first, which means taking off the holy symbol.
Wait, what? That sounds dangerous.
It is. But the immediate goal is just getting the symbol. The plan includes restraining him first, supposedly so he won't hurt his father when he sees him cured.
And Doru agrees to this, to be tied up.
He's desperate. He reluctantly agrees.
Yeah.
So Logain ties him up.
Okay. He's restrained.
Yep. And once he is, and the party's near the exit, Logain snatches the holy symbol right off him.
And they just run.
Bolt for the trapdoor, slam it shut, secure it, leaving Doru tied up in the dark without the one thing he said was helping him. They go back up to Father Donovich, give him the symbol.
How does he react?
Grateful, overjoyed, probably relieved. He agrees to do the funeral, but he seems out of it. Says it'll take a couple of days, sets it for Friday, but it's Wednesday.
Yeah, he seems confused about the day. Grief, stress, maybe something more.
And the adventurers aren't keen on waiting 2 days with Doru downstairs.
Not at all. So they decide to camp out, right there in the church. Keep watch on the Undercroft.
Sounds like a fun night.
Absolutely dreadful, I imagine. So let's just pull back for a second. We saw them witness the March of the Dead.
That creepy ghost parade. And the tense negotiation, let's call it, at the store to get their stuff back.
And now this deeply uncomfortable situation with Father Donovich and his vampire-spawned son Doru locked downstairs.
The big aha moments for me are, well, the confirmation of just how bleak this place is with the March of the Dead.
Definitely. And seeing the Vistani's role, not just travelers, but actively involved in the town's slightly shady economy.
Yeah, fencing stolen goods. And then the whole Donovich and Doru thing. It's just heartbreaking.
It really forces you, the listener, to think about their choices, doesn't it? That deception with Doru about Gratuita, is that right? Necessary evil?
And just tying them up, is that enough? Or are they just kicking the can down the road? What would you do in that situation with limited info and a lot of danger?
It's tough. No easy answers in Barovia, it seems.
Which brings us to our final thought. They're camping in a church with a potentially furious, symbolless vampire spawn locked beneath them. The priest is grieving and maybe unstable. The funeral isn't for 2 days.
Yeah, what else could possibly go wrong in the next couple of nights in this village? And what happens to Doru now without that holy symbol he was clinging to? What are the real consequences going to be?
Something to definitely chew on. It's a dark place with lingering questions. Until our next deep dive.
Stay vigilant.